What's up, y'all? You know what time it is. It's about to be that time.
What's up, everybody? We're here. We're back. One Piece 1093. Decided to get into it. Let's see where this battle between Luffy and Kizaru is going to go this week. If Oda decides to take another diversion and show us other places, who knows? But we're going to get into it. Shout out to everybody that is in here currently. Popping out the chat, moving it over. Hey guys. Yes, it's about to be that time. Appreciate everybody joining me today. Seeing a bunch of the usual suspects in the chat. Appreciate you guys coming in. Barry, Conrad, Jin, DK, Lou, Cone Killer, Loggy. Oh man. Alright. This chapter must be some heat. Okay. Dizzo, what's up? Look at all you guys. Shout out to Terrible TJ. Said like the stream. Remember for 6 months. Hey, if you're feeling the vibe, like and subscribe. Oh, Chrissy's in the chat too. Okay. We're here. Gang, gang. Chapter 1093. Luffy versus Kizaru. Woo! Alright. Wait, 15 years for this! I think it was 15. Keys of Spades! 5 gift subs! Making sure people in the chat got emojis. We are
Together we're stronger. Together we're stronger.
W's in the chat. Appreciate that. We got Kobe and Helmeppo on the front here. We've got some copycat monkeys. Tarzier brothers stealing Kobe and Helmeppo's eyewear. Alright. Alright, we got King Kong Luffy over here. You know, I'm sure there were a bunch of like Attack on Titan memes or anything like this, but like I said in the analysis, this is definitely a King Kong reference above all else. Luffy is Monkey D. Luffy. Kizaru is Yellow Monkey. Luffy has an attack called King Kong Gun, and he turns into a giant and grabs Kizaru just like King Kong grabs, you know, Anne, the woman in the movie. And we'll demonstrate that, alright? I'm Luffy. Alright. Hee Luffy. Well, this is no good. Now. Alright, Luffy's spinning him around. Let's not get carried. You're physically carried. You're physically being carried away. All right. And then Luffy launches the Kizaru. Yeah, ha ha ha. Look at him fly. Hurry, let's run for it now. While Luffy's holding off Kizaru. Let's see, where are you going, Atlas? Going down below to take control of the pacifistas again. Otherwise, we'll be zapped by their lasers as soon as the barrier's down. That's the best idea, because for the moment, there is no higher authority here than Vegapunk. Whoever controls the pacifistas wins. There's no higher authority here. Isn't it great knowing what the other characters don't? Being omniscient. Whew. It's about to get spicy. All right. Wait, Atlas. I'll go with you. Huh? What makes you think you're allowed to do that? This whole thing is happening because people are after your life, man! But listen, Frankie, it seems like Bonney is down below now. She's alive. Glad to hear it. Kizaru kicked her right into the barrier, so I was worried. How does a grown man like you let her get kicked? Sorry, my bad. I'll go help her as soon as I can. But the barrier, alright, I see General Frankie. This is Sanji speaking. If Bonney needs to be rescued, I'm there. Building A, second floor. The Hawaiian Shirt brothers are together here. We've picked up all your so-called luggage for you, Vegapunk. I'll head towards the rear exit. Let's all meet up there. Alright, so Sanji and Jinbei were on pack duty. Do they know? Yeah. Love that in the chat. Nice, Aid. Hey, AJ, what's up? Below in the Fabrio phase. Stay away from the center of town. We believe that the pirate jewelry Bonney is there. All right, we're getting that. We're getting that. This is a lot of Bonney highlights here. She's lurking somewhere. Just watch out. She'll tweak your age. That's one way to say it. Darn it. Now, where does she scamper off to? This panel is like so reminiscent of the same thing that we got during the archipelago when she first used her powers against Marines. So we're calling back to that here. We got Bonney looking like Darth Vader here with the hood up. Like, why does the hood look like a Darth Vader mask? Chin said no Bonney emoji. I'm sad. I guess we'll need to fix that. I've spotted Sentomaru. He's burnt to a crisp.
That's a spicy meatball.
Sentomaru. Oof. Sentomaru. Bonney, run before the Navy gets here. Sentomaru and Bonney have a little bit of backstory here. Alright, so Sentomaru is not down. This man is putting it all on the line for Bonney. I really would be okay with Sentomaru dying. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what he needs to do left in the story, but let's find out. Sentomaru. Wait, this is a flashback. A flashback to when? Okay, he's burnt to a crisp. So Kizaru kicked her. She went through the the barrier. She falls down. Then Sentomaru catches her and then collapses? Is that what I'm supposed to be pulling out here? I guess I just keep reading. I don't know. What do I do? Can I manage to stay hidden until it all blows over? I'm really digging Hood Up Bonney. Like, that's, you know, it's a different imagery compared to like the rest of everybody else. So like I'm into it. You know, we're just checking drip here, checking it all out. Saeed said exactly. Yes. Okay, Darth Bonney. Here we go. Ha ha ha. What's that? Are you fighting Zolo? All right, we're getting into this Zoro versus Lucci. All right, let's go. Let's go, baby. Come on. Just focus on Kizaru, man. Zoro's going in. Clang, 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 clang. This man's using that advanced tech high known as armament hockey. Oof. Okay. If this is the best you can do, I wouldn't expect to get a shot at fighting our captain. I mean, he already had the shot. He fumbled that. He fumbled that shot. So, I appreciate you talking game, Zoro, but it's a little late. It's a little late. That'd be great if they didn't fight. Haha, we'll see. But the number 2 of an Emperor of the Sea is more than worth killing on his own. Oh. Respect on the name. Respect on the name. Okay. Alright. I can dig it. Wow. Luffy launched this man. He launched him like I did. I launched him too. I'm gonna have to find him later. Seem to be falling towards the ocean. Okay, zoop. Yasakani. Sacred Jewel. Alright, he starts shooting out a bunch of light that he can then use as a part of himself to fly away. Okay, we're getting creative. We're getting creative. I like this. That's going to take 10 minutes in the anime. Alright, we got... Luffy's looking. He's looking. He's seeing all these light particles coming at him. We've got 10 Kizarus. Luffy's eyes are popping. Okay. Ama no Murakumo sword. Okay. He brought the light sword out. That's what I need Zoro to be, like, going up against. Okay, he cut Luffy. Yow. Gum Gum Dawn Whip. Kizaru, you know, takes advantage of his Logia properties. Lets it go right through him. Where's the hockey on that, Luffy? Come on. That was a hollow. Perona reference. We're talking about Perona here. Which one's the real one? Wow, this man really is cloned up. So he's making the run for it, and then he's like, I tricked you. Now I'm about to put hockey on this one. Let's see. What's he about to do? Dawn Stamp. Oh yeah, he's got the hockey on it. There we go. Black Leg Luffy. Did I get the real one too? Eek. An explosion down below. What? Oh, this man was... You want to talk about tricked you? You want to talk about tricked you? He tricked me, Luffy. And he went after Usopp which is a nice little parallel because when he was fighting Zoro, Usopp was the one next to him. So Usopp was kind of involved in all of that original Kizaru stuff in the first place. It couldn't do anything. That's strange. Wherever could Vegapunk be? Strange phrasing there. Huh? Wait, hang on. Let me in too, Vegapunk. Okay, so Sanji tried to get in whatever... Oh, Sanji is tagging along. So Sanji's going to be the Vegapunk protection squad. What's gotten into you? You look crazy. Don't you dare touch her, Navy. Hang on, Bonney. I'm coming to save you. I won't leave that poor little child behind to die. Alright, so Vegapunk is motivated. And Sanji's on the move. We got some action from the boy. I like this. Okay, things are happening. This is what I like to see. Appleman, don't go into the open, he'll kill you. And where do you think you're going? Ooh, are we getting... Is Sanji about to get involved in this action? Hold on. No, Luffy's getting in between. Is Luffy eating the laser? Did he just... Is that what he did? He jumped in front and then ate it? And then now it's coming out of his eyes and his mouth? It burns. Okay. I'll go too. Lilith used General Frankie to carry the ship. Okay. Power of the sun. Alright. The coast of Egghead. Alert. Dr. Vegapunk has descended from the lava phase. Partially deactivating Frontier Dome. Reactivating soon. Attention, all pacifistas. Vegapunk has new orders. Wipe out all Navy sailors on this island. We about to play tug of war. It's tug of war time. To be continued. And we end on Saturn. Whew. Solid.
Savage.
All right. So, Vegapunk's getting into the action. This is all leading up to... This is all about Bonney. So, Oda's telling us that Bonnie's going to be more important than he was making her out to be before. Which is good. We need Bonney to be important. Especially if Kuma's on the way, especially if... we're supposed to get this flashback. We're supposed to feel something for Bonney. I don't see the purpose of the Sentomaru scene. I mean, I'm just being honest. Like, this little flashback, like, oh, okay, he caught Bonney and then fell back down. I mean, I guess it just goes to hammer in that Bonnie's important, but... definitely need more of the Zoro versus Lucci. That was a lot of fun. I'm interested in seeing what are we...
Savage.
What is Oda's plan with Sanji? Because if he's going to be trying to protect Vegapunk and Atlas, which is great, who's he going to go up against? Oh wait, is Oda going to do the thing that he does where Sanji always like has an interaction with the real big bad before Luffy does? So we're going to oh man, this is going to be like Doflamingo and Dressrosa and, you know, a couple of other different instances where Saturn's going to come to the island and go after Vegapunk, but Saturn and Sanji are going to fight first. And Saturn is probably going to... Sanji's not going to beat Saturn. So that's... And then Luffy's got to get involved in that. And Sanji's going to have to do something else. That might be what happens. General Frankie versus a bunch of pacifistas will be fun. Because it'll be like, okay, did Frankie improve upon what Vegapunk had done? Because if he can take out a bunch of like Vegapunk's inventions, then that means that the mentee is surpassing the mentor. But I would still rather have... I need that technology to coalesce for Frankie. He still doesn't have usable lasers and all of that stuff. But I mean, Oda did skip a day. Was Frankie making some improvements? Yokai said Lilith on Death Watch. She was left alone. You don't think she went with Frankie or like hopped into the General Frankie or is riding on top of General Frankie? Like that's what I would see. I'm more concerned with like what happened to Jinbei because he was with Sanji and then suddenly like he's just like Oda forgot about this man. To get into some of these supers here. Ace2532, appreciate you, said, can't wait to see the chaos that will ensue when Saturn reveals himself. Crew lost this tug of... Crew lost. This tug of war was lost before they even started playing. Absolutely. King Raid, appreciate you, said, theory, Kuma wasn't supposed to be king of Sorbet. The world government forcefully made him king because of his race. Furthermore, Kuma's race in Sorbet has history to Uranus, and the world government struck a deal with Kuma to be a king and potentially free other slaves. I mean, I don't know if it's going to go that deep, but the world government being involved with like his placement, you know, maybe. I don't know, I felt, and I don't think that I'm alone with this, but like in that short little flashback that we got of him as a kid where Bonney was like chasing after him, kind of implied that as a child he was a slave. So he wasn't born into royalty, so in order to get to the point where he was the king of a nation, there had to be some sort of... something had to happen. You know, it's like, how do you go from that to that? Although we have seen instances with that before, because, I mean, she's considered an empress, but Boa Hancock is essentially like the queen of Amazon Lily, and she also was a slave. So it's not like there isn't any sort of precedence for it. It's more, who were the people on Sorbet? They make it seem like Kuma was part of this special race. Was Sorbet all just that? You know, were these people, much like the fishermen, were they enslaved and then they got away and they found an island that they, you know, could set up shop at, and they just let Kuma be their leader? And there was no government interference or anything. But then once it came out that all of that was going on, then send people out to kind of reclaim their the slaves that left Marijoa, or whatever the case was. You know, if it was a situation that came about during Fisher Tiger, but that's, I mean, that's not really that long ago. You'd want this to be a little bit longer, you know, further back than that, because Bonney would have been born during the Fisher Tiger event. Yeah, it's tough, but I mean, I'm still really excited about it, you know, and I talked about it a lot in the last analysis, you know, where, especially considering that Akainu is now connected to Kuma. He was already connected to Bonney, but now being connected to Kuma just implies that, like, he was probably, like, you know, as a vice admiral or something, or if he was an admiral by that point, probably a vice admiral. You know, he was probably sent to Sorbet to deal with whatever the, you know, the issue was there. So there has to be some sort of history there. And it's exciting to eventually get into that. Catch up on the chat here. Let's see. I'm just catching up on the chat here, guys. Saturn, fine, I'll do it myself. I need that man to move. I need him to do something. I said the Doflamingo thing. The way that Sanji saved the crew, right? He came out of nowhere. He did, you know, he had that little mini fight with Doflamingo. He had like a little mini fight with Virgo. What are the other instances? I'm blanking on a lot of them, but it seems like Oda tends to use Sanji a lot to, like, hype up whoever Luffy's going to fight sometimes. You know, it's not every arc, but there's been a lot of situations where it's like, you know, Sanji's actually fought some more impressive opponents than Zoro, but, like, they were just little mini scuffles, and Sanji did not win those battles. And that's what I'm hoping Oda doesn't do here, but it seems like it's kind of setting it up. Like, if Saturn shows up and he's going after Vegapunk, the person that he's going to have to deal with first is Sanji. Ramon said, Enel, yep, and CP0. Yeah, those are all really great examples, because, you know, you had the thanks for the light moment, you had Sanji on the sea train, he fought Lucci, he fought Bluno, he fought Kaku, like Sanji touched like almost all of the Cypherpole agents at that point, you know, and then he was matched up against Khalifa, the only one he didn't have a skirmish with on the sea train, and then ended up fighting Jabra. Yeah, great examples. Brock on the phone, yeah. I mean, if he had actually like had like some sort of a fight with Crocodile, then that would have lined up as well. Sea Train Sanji's unmatched. One of my favorite parts of the entire story. The amount of hype I had each week when that was weekly, that was just Sanji piece then. Eating real good. Technically even Virgo. Yeah, I mentioned Virgo. Saturn's name in Japanese, this is from Said, is a longer pronunciation of the word Satan. Sanji's associated with the devil, so maybe you're onto something. Well, from that perspective, how is Sanji any more associated with that than everybody else in the crew? Because you have Devil Child Nico Robin, you have King of Hell Zoro, also known as the Demon. I feel like there's a couple other instances that I'm blanking on right now, but I'd like to hear that thinking. I feel like the whole crew is really like associated with that at this point. It's kind of, and I think that that's like Oda's whole thing, is like flipping this idea that here's this group of demons, right, doing good, and then you have these gods that are, you know, the bad guys. Jan said, anyone think the Vega tank looks like a TIE fighter? Let me go back and look. If we got a TIE fighter and Bonney looking like Vader in the same chapter, that's insane. Yeah, it does kind of look like a TIE fighter. Oda was just, he was on Star Wars time today. He was on Star Wars time. You know, it's not even that Bonney looks like Vader. She's looking more like Lord Helmet from Spaceballs, because you can see her face, you know. That's the time that Oda's on in this chapter. This is crazy. Yokai said Jinbei is going to casually meet the Blackbeard pirates. Maybe. I don't actually expect to see them until 1096. Well, depending on the breaks, maybe that'll change. But I forget what issue number it is. But it'll be the issue that lines up with the last time we saw Luffy. That's my prediction. I can't remember what it was, but it's in Math Piece. Yokai still is one of the believers that Bonney is a child and not actually an adult woman. There's parallels that could be made with that, considering, you know, we just had Momo, who was a child and you know, forcibly grew up. And then we would have Bonney, who's actually a child but pretending to be an adult. I don't want that, though. Like, just personally, like, I don't want that. I also didn't want Momo to get aged up, and Oda did that, so it's very possible that because I don't like this idea that that's what it actually is. But I don't think it really serves anything. I think that there's a way to do it. Like, if we go into the idea that I've had for a while that Bonney is a clone. And like I always say, I do not want 50 clones in this story. But, you know, if we're really going into Star Wars here, and, you know, Attack of the Clones and all this, but I think one of the most tragic things that we could see in the Kuma flashback, and this is just me piecing together the little elements that we've got from the little tiny flashbacks that we get with Kuma and Vegapunk. Like, if Bonney died, during the sorbet flashback, you know, the sorbet event, whatever that is. And then he got his tyrant name because he lashed out because his daughter died, right? But because of his ability, he was able to save her memories. Vegapunk, he becomes friends with Vegapunk because Vegapunk has the clone technology. Maybe Kuma knew Stussy or something along those lines. It was just like, can you do this for my daughter? Then Vegapunk successfully clones Bonney. Kuma implants the memories, which we know he can do. He can take memories and formulate them. So he would be able to just remove that from, you know, the dead Bonney and then place them into the new Bonney. And then technically, she wouldn't be as old as the original Bonney, right? So there would still be those childlike elements and everything that everybody sees. Because the clone and the original Bonney would have been, you know, whatever age Bonney is now. But mentally or whatever, she may only be 8 because that's how long the clone's been active or something, or 4 years old. Who knows? Who knows? But it's just then Kuma becomes a typical One Piece dad, avoiding Bonney because he doesn't want Bonney to know that she's a clone. Then when she goes in and she sees Kuma's memories, finds out that she's a clone, that's why she breaks down. And then now it's all about kind of coming to terms with the fact that she is a duplicate, a replicant. You know, and I'm just writing my own story here, but this is these are things that can happen. These are ways that we can, you know, get sci-fi. This is a way for a clone to mean something, because Stussy doesn't mean a damn thing to me as a clone. So it's yeah. Ramona Villa said, "How about this math piece? November 8th, 2012, The Warrior of Science chapter. November 8th, 2023, The God of Science. Sanji meets Saturn. November 8th, 2012. Where are we in 2012? Are we in Punk Hazard? But what's the correlation between the two chapters? Because I can see that, you know, we're guessing what a title chapter could be. But what's the chapter number? Because if you really want to like try and figure out some math piece from something like that, then I would have to go and take a look. Sanji is the warrior science in Wano. Okay. Got it. Got it. So you meant 2021. Like around chapter 1031. Not 2012 with Punk Hazard. Because he's the godhead of science. Let's see. that's interesting, but I don't see a world where, you know, that date is like 3 chapters from now. Is it going to take 3 chapters to get to that point where Saturn actually gets onto the island? I mean, I feel like at the end of the next chapter, Saturn's got to kind of like start making his move. So I don't know, maybe. But it you know, it is interesting. It's interesting because Saturn is the science head for the government. So linking him with Sanji gains more credence from that anyway. Sanji is a warrior or soldier of science. So yeah. That's actually the I see it. Saturn's slow, Randy. He's an old man. He needs 3 chapters to reach the island. Alright, Chin. Sanji and Frankie versus the Vice Admirals for 2 chapters. Hey, give me that. Let me get that. I need that. Emil said, Randy, I don't want 50 clones. Kizaru, ... We did get 50 Kizaru clones. But that's different. That's a creative use of his power. When I say I don't want 50 clones, I mean I don't want like, oh, this person was secretly a clone the whole story, and so was this person, and Luffy's a clone, you know, and Sanji's a clone, and this and all that. It's like, that's when things kind of like, you know, get abused and get too crazy. We've already got Stussy, we've got, you know, essentially all of the pacifistas are clones, all of the Seraphims are clones of some sort, manipulated. So it's like, you know, those are the Django Fets of it all, but sci-fi stories can get bogged down with that kind of stuff. So you have to be very careful. But the thing is like, if you're going to do it also, make sure that there is a story purpose for it, and that we're spending time on it and giving it reason and purpose rather than just having it to have it. And Oda's good at doing that. He just hasn't gotten there yet. Can someone explain Bonnie's weird-ass attack in 1092? I mean, she just grabbed a spark plug or something from one of Vegapunk's inventions and tried to hit Kizaru with it, and it didn't work. Oda managed to make time travel work, so hopefully if he goes down the clone route, maybe it won't be horrible. Well, the only reason he made time travel work is because he, you know, used Terminator rules. And it was just, you know, but... in a way. He just made it so that no matter what, you could never go into the past. So, and when I say Terminator rules, obviously I'm not talking about specifically because they went into the past. I just mean it's just one trip. You don't go home, you know? So by just pushing forward and forward, you never have to worry about any sort of like paradox in your own original timeline. Could Oda flip that later on and like use things in the void history and have someone get thrown back in time from the time fruit or some sort of other fruit, and then all of the void history was Luffy in the first place? Like, yeah, that's the bad version, you know, but that is a version. Having hard rules for anything science related is always very important in science fiction. So he did do it right with time travel. He just needs to stick with it till the end. Genesis did not follow the Terminator rule. That is true, Chin. And it's when they stop following that rule that the movie goes downhill. Everything prior to that, I really liked. When we were making it and everything, that was the cool part of it. Once they changed that, I was like, all right, now the movie's lost me. Let's take a look at this. Do a little reread here. Okay. Luffy flings Kizaru around. Even though Atlas is my least favorite Vegapunk, at least they're active in the story, trying to do something, so I appreciate that. But I get the impression that Atlas is Oda's favorite, because he puts so much focus on her. I like that Vegapunk is being active. I wonder what Vegapunk's luggage is. And also the implication that they are getting his luggage says that he gets off this island and goes with them. And that he's got things and he is going to build things. He's going to use that luggage. That luggage is tech that is going to help our people. So, Vegapunk gets out of this alive. Or at least one of them do. That's important. That's one of the most important panels in this chapter. We've picked up all your so-called luggage for you. Yeah. If that panel ends up meaning nothing, then I don't know, but that's one of the biggest takeaways of this chapter I'm going to take. This also isn't the first time that we've seen Bonney with a hood. First time that we see her post time skip, she's kind of in this brown cloak with her hood up, hiding. The Sentomaru bit feels like filler, but maybe he's a part of the Bonney and Kuma flashback, and then this will hit harder on a reread. That's something that Oda tends to do a lot. Like, he'll give us these great moments, but we don't really understand them until later. And I hope that this is one of them, but then also I'm just like, it's like... Everybody knows that the ASL flashback would have been better if we had it before Marineford at some point. Then different things with Ace and especially Sabo and all that would have, just meant more. So it's like if we see the Bonney and Kuma flashback and it's like Akainu is playing a role and Sentomaru is playing a role, and then we go back to those other moments and it's just like, oh, okay, this hits way harder on a reread because I know the backstory behind these guys. But I am always... I'm a proponent of the... Tell me beforehand. Have that moment hit because I know all of this stuff. Like, imagine we know the story behind Kuma and Akainu, and then we see Kuma and Akainu, up against each other. Now that scene is way crazier. And it's just like, oh, because I know what's going on between these guys. So, that's one of the things. Shout out to Damien's. Appreciate it. Said, congrats on the special news from last week. Wasn't around to catch it live. Feeling great about you being in the room, and I know you'll do good by Vivi. Solidarity forever. Yep. Hopefully the talks that are happening right now and have been happening this week will end, at the very least, the writer's strike. The
Savage.
Screen Actors Guild will continue to strike until a fair agreement is situated with them, but hopefully it just happens, one right after the other. But no, I'm excited to be able to speak a little more freely about everything in due time. But I appreciate it, Damien's. Thank you. Barry said, manifesting nothing but justice and fairness for both guilds. Thank you so much. Thank you. DJ BJ32, member for 27 months. Loyal. Said, stuck at work, sending positive vibes. Okay. Happy to, get anybody through a day here and, give them some One Piece talk. Thank you. Definitely need it to end. Very much so. All right. Oh, I get this now. So this was Luffy yelling at Zoro, like, hey, you want help against Lucci? That's kind of savage. That's kind of insulting. Luffy's like, hey, you want me to help you fight Lucci? Bro, Luffy, don't you know, that's your right hand. Let him cook. You know, on this reread, Zoro's kind of sweating Lucci, though. Sitting here wheezing. Going up against an awakened Zoan. But then he's talking big game. And he's got the Conquerors on the swords, too. He's got the Conqueror's Lightning on the sword, but he's still not damaging Lucci? Hold on. I don't know. I wouldn't... Like, the respect on Zoro's name is cool, but I don't know if this is like Zoro's stocks are up here. This is like... Zoro's stocks are on like just a little teeter down. I need to see him really cook. This man is wheezing, and meanwhile Luffy was just playing games with him. It just shows that Luffy and Zoro are very, like, where it was like really close before, like Luffy's like here now and Zoro's like here. It's no longer that. Look at us power scaling. Let's see, so then we got the Kizaru business. Shows back up. I really want Zoro to fight Kizaru. Like, I need the games to stop. This man, I need Zoro to go up against this lightsaber. Like, I need that panel. I need that panel where he's got his lightsaber out and Zoro is going against it. Like, that is what I need. I wonder if because Oda made a Perona joke, that we'll see Perona soon. Also, you know what's crazy too is Kizaru was able to create all of these sentient clones, right? While the real version of himself was going after Usopp. This, I think, is his awakening. For him to be able to control parts of himself, and it's the same thing I was talking about. It's the same thing with Karasu. He's able to split parts of himself, turn them into crows, and talk through them. This is exactly what Karasu is doing. This has to be awakening. He's able to clone himself, split himself apart, and yeah, it's wild. It's got to be part of it. Or it's something that all Logias can do. But I don't know. Luffy out here doing this optic blast is wild, though. He eats the laser and then just spontaneously combusts. Okay. Oh, shout out to Roger in the chat. He said the Zoro versus Lucci talk got so toxic in my chat this morning because I said it looked initially like Zoro was barely even trying against Awakened Lucci. When I first read it, I was like, okay, all right, Zoro. And then on this reread, I'm like, wait, actually, he's sweating. I feel like he's barely doing anything right now. So I'm with you on that. But meanwhile, then at the end, he's got like Conqueror's Lightning on the swords. I'm like, I don't know. Like, are we trying to hype up Zoro here, or are we gassing Lucci? What are we doing, Oda? What's the point of this? Cone Killer said the slander against power scaling was majestic. What was said? The Black Man Who Laughs said, so is Hellhound awakening as well? Yeah, I've called that awakening as well, because he's creating a sentient dog. And it is kind of moving on its own. So to me, yeah. Hellhound is awakening, and probably Pheasant Beak as well for Kuzan. So a lot of them have, you know, created animal versions of themselves, and then that's what the sentient thing is. Here, Kizaru, instead of making a bunch of monkeys in keeping with his name, Yellow Monkey, he just makes clones of himself. So shout out to Hassan Z, member for 2 months at Savage. Appreciate you. Okay, so the TIE Fighter comes down. Atlas goes ahead and sends out the order. Big Tama vibes. You know, sending out her order. And then Saturn just standing there like, okay. You think you got it? Somebody give me a megaphone. Then we just need Dragon to pull up and be like, okay. Guess what? You're not the highest authority. Vegapunk plugged me in. You know, we need some sort of big reversal like that. Do I think that all of the Cyberpole Zero people are redeemable based on what Dripper Scarfino said about free will and Wano? So my thinking with Cyberpole Zero and CP9 to a certain degree, but you know, more so CP0, is that they are essentially slaves of the government. So it's just in the CP9 cover story, it seemed like they were trying to leave the government completely. Like they were going off on their own, they were fighting against the Marines, and then suddenly now they're in this this group. We know that CP0 showed up to like get who's who because he knew too much, right? They wanted to make sure that they could silence him. So I think it's a situation where they probably eventually caught up to Lucci and the rest of CP9, and instead of throwing them an impel down or locking them up or something, they were like, hey, we'll give you an ultimatum. Join Cyberpole Zero, and then, you know, he'll at least get to live, because we can't put you in impel down, so it's either death or CP0. So that's the only thing that kind of makes sense for me. It's kind of extreme, but then Sword gets to move about and have their own free will and like leave, you know, essentially be a faction of something but not a faction of it at the same time, whereas CP0 like is the ultimate, has to be this faction and cannot do anything else. So, and that's why Dripper was just like, man, if I don't go and do this, they're gonna kill me anyway. So, with that being said, if Luffy was able to make Lucci and Kaku feel like they did have free will, then they could turn, but I don't want them to be redeemed at all. So it's like I want Lucci to stay bad. Like just keep on fighting there. And we'll get into it a bit more in a second. I'll be right back, guys. Going off of that point a little bit more, I was just thinking it would be interesting, like a way to have the Holy Knights come into the story as if they're the ones that like keep Cypher Pull Zero on task. Then that's a fun way to utilize them and have them be relevant. So if we need a faction that is just really strong, let it be them, and then it's like that's why Lucci falls in line because he knows he can't beat like Garland or something like that. Alejandro Salas, a member for 4 months, said, "Yo, Randy, sorry I'm late. I think Lucci will be bad. I don't want him to ever be good. I want him to ever be good. I mean, this is a dude that was like, from the moment his life began, he was just trained to be a killer for the Marines. It's like it goes back to the Mother Carmel flashback. Finding promising children, orphans, or whatever, and then having them be used by the government, right? So it's what it all comes down to. Lucci has never had the opportunity to have a life of his own where he wasn't following orders or just acting with a license to kill. Like this is like that's the other reason why I don't want Lucci to be good, because Lucci is legitimately a murderer. Like he's a serial killer. Like he doesn't believe in justice. He doesn't believe in anything that, these guys are after. He's just like, I get to kill. Like I get to go and do this. Oh, okay, cool. That's all he wants. He just wants a license to go off and get his hands bloody. And then no one bats an eye.
Savage.
Volkazard said, I wonder how the Gorosei authority works. Is it another chip thing, perhaps? Perhaps that's why Kuma went to Marijoa. I mean, that's interesting, but I think it's probably a vocal thing. So that's why if we get someone like Katarina Devon, and she's able to copy Saturn, then Blackbeard would have complete, total authority over all the Seraphim. And that would be like kind of the breakdown of the system. Not factoring in powers like the Mani Mani no Mi or the mythical Inu Inu QB or whatever it is. Whatever she's got. Jen said, but Randy Caesar was kind of redeemed as Gastino, so Lucci might be possible to... No, because Caesar was always a joke character, even with the evil things that he was doing, so it was okay to redeem him, because it was kind of like Buggy. It was a Buggy Mr. 3 type character. Shout out to Alejandro Salas, appreciate it. Super chatted and said, do you want end of series Robin to take down Lucci? Maybe have Sanji and Jinbei take him down as well, as I would like for Kaku to go start a bakery. Look, out of any of them, Kaku, you know, he deserves a good life. I like Kaku. But Lucci, no. Would I like to see Robin get some revenge? Sure. What I would rather have seen is Spandam actually die. You know, like, that's who she really needed the revenge against, and she got it. But Oda didn't stick the landing. The will of S. So it would be nice if we, you know, got a situation where obviously Luffy took down Lucci. If Zoro takes him down here and then Robin takes him down again later on, you know, that's fine. But it's not really Lucci that Robin should have an issue with. Because again, Lucci wasn't like... It wasn't a personal vendetta between Robin and Lucci. It was a vendetta between her and Spandam and really the government. So when Robin inevitably takes down one of the Gorosei, that's what I would prefer to see. Because those are the people that actually, like, ordered the hit on Ohara, turned her into the, you know, the criminal that she is, labeled her a demon. Lucci's just a tool. Jin said, Caesar's a genius, second to Vegapunk, you call him an idiot. He's a smart idiot. That's it. Like, he may be able to create weapons and do all of this science stuff or whatever, but he was making mistakes. It wasn't, like, tactical. Luffy beat him very handedly. Giant-handedly. Giant hockeyed up handedly. The third clown after Buggy and Mr. 3. I mean, he might as well join Buggy. Like, that's just... that's what it is. Robin nowhere to be seen this chapter. Yeah, there's a couple of Straw Hats that we didn't see. I don't think we saw Nami either. Robin's going to get a ton of focus, though, so I'm not necessarily worried about that. Spandam is a bum. As far as I'm concerned, Lucci's a bum too. So Nami on the first page. Oh, yep, there she is. And then Chopper's there too, reminding us that he exists. Not doing much more than that. Yeah. Jinbei just disappears, so. There's a couple of things in this chapter where, like, the geography is a little wonky. Like, The Sentomaru flashback, I think, is just completely unnecessary. I think that that's something that should have happened in real time after she got hit by Kizaru. Like, if Oda wanted to have that moment, then it should have happened in the last chapter, not here. And then Luffy absorbing all of the, Kizaru's light. Like, I don't know if I would have got that Luffy ate it if it didn't, like, explode out of him. I think there was, like, a more dynamic way to show that. But then we got a bunch of, like, really cool panels. Like, I like Kizaru saving himself. All of the Kizaru clones spinning around. Dawn's stamp is really good. I love this shot of the TIE fighter, the Vega tank 8, bursting out with Sanji on top. Like, that's really cool imagery. Vegapunk's determination is cool. The stakes are raising, but I think they can still get higher. So let's see. We'll have to see where things go in the next chapter. And as far as the next chapter is concerned, with the way that it ended, it's like, it's one of those endings where if Oda wanted to, he could go somewhere else and come back if he wanted to show something else. Because we're not on, like, this devastating moment where it's like, okay, we need to come back into this. Because more than anything, it's just setting up something. I still feel like we need to go and see the Cross Guild for a moment, but I don't know if we're going to get it now. And but if we did come back into this, I think it would be, 2 to 3 pages of the Mark IIIs going after the Marines. Saturn debating whether or not he needs to expose himself. I'd actually like Oda to focus more on Zoro versus Lucci rather than Kizaru and Luffy for the next chapter. Maybe the next chapter ends with Kuma's arrival, I don't know. Or an update on, like, where he is in his travel. Is the consensus that Bonney is most likely a little girl? Asked Augustin. I not here. Could it be a case? Sure, but I mean, I'm not on that train. I'm not about that. there was a chomp sound effect, and you can see his mouth blow. Yeah, no, I get it. I just, and I see that. I just, would have drawn it differently. So. No sign of the robot this week. Yeah. Oda's not going to do anything with that for a while, probably. It's one of those things in the background that he gave to us, but he also wants us to forget so that it's like, oh, the robot's in this chapter. Oh yeah, we have a break. So we have a theory for theory. Who do you guys want to see? Drop your suggestions for a theory for theory guest, and whew, I'll see about who to invite. Then we might, I don't know, wrap up a little earlier than usual this week. Cole, Par, teching. We just had teching, so it's not going to be that. Jay. Yokai said Oprah. Oprah for theory for theory. Copy that. Sure thing. I'll get right on that, Yokai. Antordana said, memory check. Other than the 17th anime opening, have we seen Sanji fight Kizaru? Pretty sure no, and I really don't think we'll ever see it in the manga either. Like, I don't think that Kizaru is meant to be Sanji's opponent. I'll say it until I'm wrong or right, but it's like it really should be Zoro's opponent if he doesn't get beaten by Luffy here. Which I fully expect Saturn to show up and then Luffy to switch focus, and then Zoro's going to fight Kizaru. And he's already sweating here, so he's not going to be able to beat Kizaru until we're in the final war. He's going to do better than he did during the archipelago, of course, but it's going to become a situation where they all have to run again, like the end of the archipelago, I would hope. And then when they're ready to really bring the fight back to everybody in the final war, Zoro's going to be fully rested up, and he's going to be like, there's no handicaps now, Kizaru, let's go. That's what I want to see. Seeing Joy Boy. Joy Boy, that we haven't talked to Joy Boy in a while. That's interesting. Volume 1. That's a good one too. I do want to collab with them soon. Barry said it's about to be the 1-year anniversary of it. If you're picking up what I'm putting down, the 1-year anniversary of Joy Boy, when we did the Theory for Theory with Joy Boy. That kind of checks out. We have been lining up the math piece of Theory for Theories with a lot of other creators. Kip said Sawyer. That's probably never going to happen. Dude just doesn't collab. So. Volume 1 would be a lot of fun. Yeah, I'd like to do that. But the thing is what I would love to do for Volume 1 is I would love if it was like me and Chrissy and Volume 1. Like, you know, if it's going to be with Megan and Josh, I would want Chrissy with me, and that's tough. Sure, the birthday hats are ready, right? Because Barry, your birthday is coming up. That's it. Dak would be interesting if I finished Reassembled Joy Boy and then we kind of talk about all of that. I'm almost done with that. I would like to get it out this week. Dizzy, you're getting crazy in the chat right now. Alejandro Salas said, Randy, did you see it took 10 years from the start of Luffy wanting to take down Kaido to beating him in both the anime and the manga? Yeah. I mean, it's all part of the math, you know? I mean, Oda doesn't have any sort of say over how long something takes in the anime. So that's the coincidence, but he has full autonomy and control over how things happen in the manga. But the anime has always been roughly a year behind the manga anyway, so it was always going to time out with the manga to begin with. Barry said, anyway, I'll come babysit Mars while you have a couple stream with Volume 1. There you go. See, that's what we need. It's the way to make it happen. It's the way to make it happen. And let's see. This week in the anime, I've been told, is the Tama flashback. So I'm excited to watch that episode. I think we'll do that. We'll see if they really make the Kurazumi of it all very apparent in the anime now. There's gotta be some filler, because with as many breaks that Oda has taken, like, they are going to be so on top of them. Did I watch 1076? Yeah, no, I didn't watch it. I know they did the Otoko flashback. That was dropped in the Discord, and I watched the scene. So we got confirmation that Yasue does eat his smile, which negates what the Viver card had. And I still feel like it would have been better if Yasue never ate a smile and was just playing along with everybody. Like, that just goes way harder for me. Yeah, I know the Toko flashback just happened, but the Tama flashback is coming next week, supposedly. Seven filler episodes for the week they're partying. No, I mean, that's the best way to do it. I mean, not while they're partying, but do a bunch of filler episodes while they're waiting for Luffy and Zoro to wake up. That's what I would do. Put a whole bunch of unnecessary focus on Yamato to get everybody's hopes up that this character is joining the crew. They're going around, they're having personalized interactions with everybody. You know what I really could see Toei doing is Yamato going around talking to all the Straw Hats, and then they just start doing reruns of everybody's flashback, but they're telling, but it's in the way of like telling Yamato, and then Yamato, like, at the end of all of it is just like, yeah, I've decided I'm going to stay. And then it's just like, oh yeah, Yamato heard everybody's, stories and decided, nah, I'm actually not going to ride on the ship with you. But really, like, if they wanted to do something amazing, I've said it before, but like Kiku mourning Izo and Kinemon reuniting with his wife, that's stuff that really could be expanded upon. Exactly, Chin. Yamato side stories building up, for them to join 7 episodes, and then on the 8th episode, sorry guys, actually, I got some stuff I gotta do. And you got to make sure that in every single one of those episodes, Yamato is ending the episode saying, I'm leaving with them. I'm joining the Straw Hats.
You lying? Why you always lying?
Only thing worse than filler is troll filler. It's about to happen. So then you said Yamato's character is irrelevant. Unfortunately, yes. Unfortunately, yes. There was a lot of promise for the character that ultimately manifested into nothing. It is a motivated road trip to make it a triple couple stream. 2 episodes of female law. Yeah, I don't think they're going to enhance those particular fights. I don't see that happening. But the only reason why I have a little bit of hope for what they could do with the end of Wano is because Oda skipped past like the whole Kiku versus Kanjuro fight right before, right at the very beginning of Onigashima. I'm not talking about like 10, 14 and all that. I'm talking about like 93, 94 or something like that. No. It's even before that. 87. It's not, I can't remember. Anyway, we're talking about stuff from like 3-4 years ago at this point. But when Toei animated it, they went in and they like had this whole like conversation between Kiku and Kanjuro that was really good. It was really good. It was something that should have been in the manga. It wasn't. So that's the kind of stuff that I want from them. Stuff that makes sense within the canon. That's the opportunity that they have here. Or, we have the whole crew together. Send them to some other island before they get to Egghead. I don't know. Do a little mini filler arc. We don't get many, but it will, it gives us more time, with our crew in the story, and just our crew, by the way. And you don't catch up to Oda. And then when we get to Egghead and all that other stuff, like the pacing can be reasonable. But other than that, I think that is. I think that's it for this week. I'm gonna start wrapping things up. I think the main takeaway that I can get from this chapter is that Oda might actually have a little skirmish between Saturn and Sanji. That's the main thing. I don't know when it's going to happen, but but if Sanji is with Vegapunk, that's that. And also it's kind of interesting that Sanji is going with Vegapunk, who's trying to save Bonney, right? And then Bonney said some very glowing remarks for Bonney. Sorry. Bonney had some very glowing remarks for Sanji recently, so it's like there's something there, even though I would rather have more of an interaction between Bonney and Zoro, because they've actually interacted in the story, so I don't know. The other thing that could happen is if we start getting into the Blackbeard pirates of it all, then they are very likely after Vegapunk. So if anybody is going to leave here with Vegapunk, it would be them before the government. And Sanji going up against the Blackbeard pirates on his own would also line up with that stuff. I need that heat on Lafitte. Sanji versus Lafitte is what I want. That's what I want to get out of all of this. So that's something that we could be leading towards as well. By the time we get to 1096, Sanji versus Luffy would be a lot of fun. Eat on the feet. I'm telling you, Cone Killer. It's gotta happen. It's gotta happen. The two sneaky guys. Let's get them. Let's get them fighting. He'll be tap dancing. Sanji will be fighting that tap dancer. I don't know. It just works for me on a lot of levels. Okay. Whew. That's gonna wrap things up for this week, guys. I'll try and figure out a theory for theory. We'll get that situated for next week. Still working on getting the Reassemble Joy Boy video out. I feel like I recorded it like 2-3 months ago. It's just been tough to find time, and I've been, other videos have gotten in the way, and Math Piece was a big one. Which also on Twitter, a bunch of people are like taking elements from Math Piece and putting them on Twitter like as if they made them up. So there's, I'm seeing a lot of that lately. Some guy put up, my thoughts about Dragon showing up at 1100, like as if it was his idea just the other day. And like, so many people are like, wow, someone cooked here. This is amazing. I cooked here. This is all of my points from the video. Okay, guy. Good job. That's what happens when you put stuff out there. Math copy. So I know I made it? Yeah, I know. So when does Blackbeard make his move? Is he on Egghead? I don't know if Blackbeard himself is on Egghead, but I really feel like Lafitte and Devon are. But I don't think that they're going to reveal themselves until 1096. Bonney is not Katarina Devon. I'm sorry. She's just not. And I said that right from the start. There's nothing to it here. There's nothing. This is definitely, like, actually Bonney. But yeah, keep up to date with the updates in the Discord and community posts. If I do finish Reassemble Joy Boy, it'll be a premiere, and do that sometime during the week, hopefully. And that's that. And if I do get it out, then maybe I do get Dak onto the for theory, and we talk about it. We tend to cook. He's a good chef. We'll see. All right, guys. Appreciate it. Later.
I've been swimming deep, deep. Savage.